Is water wet? Can water be wet? Nobody knows. Wassup YouTube? PokePrimer here, proud and ready to deliver you our draft analysis for the NPBF this season. We are on season 12. I have been with them for so long now. It's kind of crazy that it's been as long as it has been. Honestly, I couldn't tell you how much fun it's been being there. I'm an admin there now, which is crazy. I've been working with them for so long. They're a great bunch of people. All of them I consider really good friends. But yeah, my little poor attempt at humor at the beginning was due to the kind of draft we did this season, because a lot of the times NPBF goes with a little bit of a gimmick for their seasons. Very rarely do we have something not a gimmick. We did a double season last season. A couple seasons ago we did Ubers. So definitely a lot of fun gimmicks that we've messed around with in the past. This season, we decided to do our own version of monotype. So the way that this went, is we did a bunch of randomizations to get people their typings, and then we select 10 Pokemon from that type, and then 2 extras that I'll explain in a minute. So first thing I wanted to go over real fast is how everything was determined. Okay, so first thing, we randomized all of the types in a random list generator, and it came out in, specific order. And obviously, the first 16 would be our draft slots. The order in which they came out were Poison, Electric, Dragon, Rock, Normal, Psychic, Fighting, Ghost, Fire, Steel, Bug, Grass, Ice, Flying, Ground, and then Water. With Fairy and Dark not making the cut. So once those were randomized out, we randomized the draft order, and whoever landed in each spot, that is the type that they got. And we, the Anaheim Appletons, were lucky enough to snag slot number 16, so we picked up Mono Water, which is awesome, because it is one of the strongest types in Monotype, straight up. So I was super excited about that. I'm not the biggest fan of I'm not the biggest fan of weather teams too much. I mean, I've drafted plenty of them. I can use them, but it's not like my favorite playstyle. But you got Mono Water, you're gonna draft Rain. If you kind of avoid Rain, you're kind of passing up a very clear opportunity for ridiculous power. But now about the 2 extra picks, though. Those 2 extra picks are a very interesting thing that we decided to do, because we didn't want 2 whole typings just completely off the board. And we also didn't want certain dual type mons to just be locked off to whatever type survived. So, for example, making it so that I would be the only one to draft something like Crawdon, or I could be the only one who could draft Purina, or something like that. So what we did is we made it so that each team can draft 2 picks from the Fairy and Dark type pools, which is a very, very interesting idea, and it actually worked out for a lot of people in very interesting ways. If you want to see how that worked out, please go over to the NPBF Facebook page. because I will actually be uploading content over there. Any content you see on the channel here will also be uploaded over there, and I'm also going to be doing a draft breakdown for the league over there as well. So I'm going to be doing different content as well over there, but for now I only have the draft overview, draft analysis planned for over there. But yeah, getting those extra 2 picks is really, really important, and trying to plan out when to pick them up and which ones to go for is definitely difficult. Obviously, you have to think which one of these mons in these pools will benefit my team, my type the most, and try to snag something like that will take your monotype to the next level. So some people pick them at round 1. Some people still haven't picked all of theirs. And now it's starting to get to the slim pickings of the bunch, and it's very interesting to see how all these teams are shaping up. And definitely, I think my team shaped up really great. I'm actually recording this technically before the draft is over, but I'm at the point where I cannot be sniped because my Mega Pokemon that I'm picking, the dual type that, the other typing that it has, their team already drafted their Mega, so they can't touch it. Plus, we had made a deal prior to the draft, to work out me getting Swampert. I spoiled it, damn it. We gotta make a Swampert. It's raining, we gotta make a Swampert. Anyway, we made a deal. I made a deal with the Mono Ground coach for Gastrodon at the beginning of the draft. So I wasn't going to touch Gastrodon, he can grab that, and I pick up the Mega Swampert, obviously. Plus, the rest of the picks that I have after where I'm at in the draft are all pure water types, so nobody else can have those except me. So my draft is essentially done. It's just a matter of throwing my picks in whenever it comes my turn. But I already know everything that I want, and nobody can snipe me at this point. I actually was only sniped one time the entire draft, which is really, really fantastic. I got sniped round 1, actually. Before the draft, me and Rennie, the coach of I believe he's Los Angeles Darkrai. I could be completely wrong, but he is the grass coach this season, and he downplayed Ludicolo so much prior to the draft, so I thought I was pretty much free to grab it round 1, because that was my original plan. I was going to grab Ludicolo, and obviously you see my other round 1 pick in Volcanion. I was going to grab those 2 round 1. Unfortunately, he decided to grab Ludicolo round 1, which is smart on his part. Just gives him an ultimate tool against me that is going to be a massive threat, to say the very least. So it's going to be a pain to deal with once that time comes, but we'll get there when we get there. But we were able to, however, since we're the 16th pick, we're on the wheel, we were able to pick up, for our first mon, we are able to pick up Yellowstone, the Volcanion. This analysis is probably going to be a little bit quicker than my usual ones now that I've given all of the overview of how the draft went, or how the draft was designed. This will probably be a pretty quick one, because monotype's pretty easy to explain, like my reasonings. My reasons are all pretty obvious and straightforward, but I'll still try to give like a decent enough description for why I grabbed each mon. Now, first things first, we grabbed Volcanion. In monotype drafts, you kind of have to draft things that'll be good for you, but also draft kind of in a defensive way. Like, for example, I'm mono water. I wanted to draft as many water immunities as I possibly could, because that prevents some of my potential opponents from grabbing those water immunities, if that makes sense. So, grabbed Volcanion so that the Mono Fire team could not get it. They decided to pick, I believe, Heatran at round 1, which is still a very good pick. Pretty much makes them an auto win against, or pretty much gives them, one of the best fire types in the game, and removes steals like I think, only fire immunity, I think, if I remember correctly. So that was pretty smart on his part. But we were able to get the Volcanion, which would have been his only water immunity, to my knowledge. So we're going to be bringing Shiny Volcanion every week because it's Yellowstone and he's, yellow. Grabbed it because I wanted a water absorb mon off the board, as well as the fact that obviously one of our weaknesses is grass, so having a fire type this early on in the draft is extremely important because any grass types we can use Volcanion as an offensive check to all of those. So that's really, really important for us. You've been seeing me use Volcanion in the BTA as well, so you all already know how Volcanion works and what Volcanion does. So I don't need to go into too much detail on Volcanion, but yeah, I'm really excited to have it here as well. It was pretty much a no-brainer pick to grab him ASAP. Now, I could have also grabbed one of my main range setters round 1 as well on the wheel, but I decided to actually jump ahead and grab one of my extra picks immediately because I knew it was a really powerful Pokemon and it'd be off the board. So I wanted to grab a dragon in one of my extra picks. That's one of the things I wanted to do the most because dragon types resist both of water's weaknesses naturally. So that's really, really important to me. I wanted to use my extra picks to pad out my weaknesses, like handle my weaknesses the best I possibly can. And I definitely think I did that really, really well. But I decided to grab, for my dark type, I grabbed Ghidorah the Hydreigon. So, it gives me a ground immunity and levitate. Obviously, it resists both of my weaknesses. Has amazingly good stats across the board. Hits extremely hard. Gained things like Nasty Plot and Dragon Dance this generation, which is huge for it. Plus, in a format like we have where there is no mono fairy team, and the number of fairies that are running around are very minimal, it leaves a lot more room for Hydreigon to prosper against a lot of teams that either might have only one fairy or no fairies at all, potentially, depending on how they decide to draft. So, definitely Hydreigon, I feel, has a little bit more room to maneuver around against some of the teams. It's a phenomenal Pokemon. It has so many ways of messing up my opponents, so I'm really, really excited that I was able to grab Hydreigon. I'm so glad the Dragon team did not decide to grab this round 1. I don't remember what they grabbed, but I know it was probably ridiculously strong, because Dragon types are scary. Excuse me. So, grab that, and next round comes around. I had already kind of talked to Chris, who had Flying type, about this next pick, and he was kind of iffy about whether he might want it. He wasn't taking it off the table, but at this point he didn't seem to be favoring himself towards it, so I picked up Toilet the Pelipper. He will be our first of our rain setters for the team, which is super important because this team is going to function heavily in rain. We have 2 really powerful Swift Swim users and several mons that also benefit from the rain's existence, so that is huge. So Toilet here is going to be our first rain setter. Obviously, it gets the Stab Hurricanes to fire off 100% accurate in the rain as well, which will be good because we have Flying Stab will help us with the grass types that are coming against us as well. U-turn for momentum gets Defog as well. By the way, our first 3 Pokemon all get Defog, so hazards are not a problem for our team whatsoever. We do end up having one other Defogger and a Rapid Spinner in our draft, so hazards are almost like a no-bring against us because they're not going to do anything. So Pelipper is going to be really, really good for our team. Super duper important key member and can definitely put in a lot of work for us throughout the season. Our other mon that we grabbed this round is actually another water immunity that we wanted to get off the board. So I picked up Lamp, the Lantern. He kind of covers two different roles, actually, as not only is he another water immunity off the board, he also does have the Volt Absorb ability, which is super important for dealing with other electric types. I was very thankful that the coach with electric typing, I believe that was Darius, I believe, yeah, I think these are the Sacramento Sandstorms. I believe he, that's his team name. Yeah, I was very glad that he did not pick up this Mon at this point. Definitely, I think this was a steal and a half. Just having this Mon makes like an electric type matchup immediately easier to deal with, to say the very least. So I was very, very pleased to scoop up a Lamp. It's extremely bulky at 125 HP, does a lot of work. Having Volt Switch for momentum is huge. Having Heal Bell for cleric potential is also huge. This thing is a beast. This thing is an absolute beast. I have used Lantern to great success in several other leagues over the past several years, and definitely think that in a monotype format like this, it has all the potential in the world to absolutely slaughter. So I'm so excited to have this thing on the team. So for my 5th and 6th picks, for my 5th pick, I decided to pick up my other extra pick, because at this point, I didn't want to risk... Oh, of course you did. Oh, great. No internet. Yay. I love when my internet disappears. Hooray. And it's back. That's funny. Doobity-doop-doop-doobity-doo. You just saw the rest of the team, but that's okay. Do-do-do. We got Swab the Whimsicott. So I didn't want to leave this thing on the board for too much longer because I didn't want Rennie to be able to pick this thing up. I didn't want to potentially get sniped on this. First thing that's important about this thing is obviously it has Prankster, with a lot of good potential Prankster moves. Defog, Encore, Leech Seed, stuff like that are all really important. Yeah, this has a lot of potential to do a lot of good stuff for our team with just those things in general. But the fact that it provides us with a grass type that will resist both, again, of our weaknesses in grass and electric, that is extremely massive for us. We don't have a lot of like secondary typings that add too many weaknesses to our team. The only weakness that we don't check great is Rock, but Rock isn't like a super big threat to us because, you know, we're mono water, and if I lose to mono rock, I should quit playing Pokemon. But yeah, it has a lot of awesome things. It also has Hurricane, which is going to be extremely important because we have, 100% accurate Hurricanes coming off in the rain, so I can easily run Hurricane on this thing a lot more often. This will just serve as a great support mon, as well as a good bulky pivot for a lot of grass type, or for a lot of moves that we typically would need resistances for. So that would be great for us, and Whimsicott is going to put in a lot of work. Then on the way back around, obviously for my 6th pick, I decided to pick up my first Swift Swim user on the team, and that is going to be Doodra the Kingdra. Yes, I went double dragon again, with how spread out and how minimal fairy types are in this, and without there being like a mono fairy team, I felt that having a second dragon type wasn't going to hurt me in any way. So I went with that. Plus, Kingdra is just really, really good. It can be physical or special very easily without any real downsides to either one. He also got a bunch of new tools this generation with things like Hurricane and whatnot. And I believe it also got Scale Shot and Flip Turn. Like, this thing got a lot of fun toys to mess with, so I'm very much excited to see what kind of dastardly plans I can come up with Kingdra. So, fingers crossed, we can put in a lot of work with them. The next round comes about, and this is actually the most recent set of picks that I got. The last dual-type Pokemon, aside from Armega, that I picked up for our team, I wanted to get a Water-Ice type. I wanted to get a Freeze-Drymon off the board. This Freeze-Drymon also happens to have Water Absorb, and it's tied with one other Pokemon as the strongest Fishious Rend user in this current metagame. And that is Arctovish. Enemy the Arctovish. The reason why I say tied with is because for this season we made a few tweaks and changes to certain Pokemon to kind of allow them still in the meta, to make them not as broken. And one of the things that was discussed was how to tweak Dracovish, because in a monotype meta, a lot of teams just will not have a switch in to Strong Job Dracovish. Fishious Rend does enough damage as it is, but with Strong Jaw, it's too much. Some teams just cannot find switch-ins. It makes it completely unbalanced. You can literally just run a Scarf Dracovish. Especially for me, if I can run Scarf Dracovish in Rain and just win against over half of the typings easily. So what we decided to do was to ban Strong Jaw on Dracovish. So this allows Arctovish to actually be similarly on the same quality of Mon as its brethren, which I thought was really interesting. So with the Water Absorb, obviously it gives us a nice immunity again. Takes another one of those off the board. Gets access to, obviously, a bunch of Ice-type moves, Icicle Crash and whatnot, which are really good for the Grass types that we'll be dealing with, as well as having Freeze Dry for any Water types that were also sniped from us. So like that Ludicolo that Rennie picked up, we have Freeze Dry for that as well as an option. So Arctovish definitely has a big time niche to fill on this team, and I definitely feel he will put in a lot of work this season. Freeze Dry is such a good move, and I wanted to get a Freeze Drymon off the board. I already know that the Mono Ice team is going to have enough Freeze Dry users. They didn't need another one. So now, after I picked him, I start getting into my pure water types, and I've toyed around with this slot the most. There were 3 pure water types I knew I definitely wanted, but this one was kind of iffy. I had Barraskewda in this slot originally because I wanted an alternate Swift Swim user, but I felt like the 2 that I already had pretty much did everything I would need them to do, extremely effectively. So I didn't feel like a third one would be necessary. And I felt like my team was is built strongly enough without Barraskewda. So I decided to actually go with a mon that somebody jokingly suggested / was kind of surprised I wasn't originally planning to get, and that is Poseidon the Manaphy. Manaphy is so good. Base 100 across the board, obviously, great stats. Tail Glow, I can go to +3 special attack and in the rain. If you don't have a water immunity or very good water resist that I don't have coverage for, good luck switching into Manaphy. Manaphy is so good. So good. And I'm really surprised that I didn't plan on getting this initially, but now I do have it, and it's going to fucking slaughter people. Because Manaphy is crazy good, and the fact that it has hydration as its ability is also important, because my opponents can't just try to paralyze it or toxic it down or whatever to try to beat it, because I'm going to have the rain up 99% of the time in most of my games unless I'm playing a weather war against someone. So good luck statusing my Manaphy, because you're not allowed. And even if I don't have Rain Up, I have Lamp that can be a cleric. I have another cleric in about 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure Whimsicott gets aromatherapy. It doesn't. That's stupid. Why don't you give aromatherapy, you stupid fucking cotton swab? Anyway. Yeah, Manaphy... Manaphy gets heal buff for itself, so it doesn't even matter. This thing just doesn't need to worry about statuses at all. So, it is a powerful setup mon that you can't beat with statuses in the rain. So, have fun, guys! This is going to be a fun one. So, with the rest of my picks, the next thing that I want to get is something that got a very nice little fun buff in with the Isle of Armor and the new tutor moves, and is basically just a new version of everyone's favorite fairy type in OU, and that is Waterclef the Vaporeon. Now, so Vaporeon is, very fat, obviously, very, very bulky mon. It is a cleric, it has Heal Bell and stuff. It gets Wish, and a fun little thing that it got in the Isle of Armor is Flip Turn. So, how good old Clefable has been terrorizing OU with its Wish teleport passing nonsense. I can basically do the same thing. As long as my opponent doesn't have a water immunity, I can throw up Wishes and click Flip Turn and just pass them shits around. And I have base 130 HP. So I can be passing like 232 HP Wishes to a majority of my team. And a majority of my team doesn't have HP near that high. Or like that's well over like 75% of their total health. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And I'm really excited to do this to people. And people are going to be pissed off about it. And they're going to get annoyed. And I love that. Flip Turn is possibly one of the greatest things they've added to Pokemon. Mostly because I get to benefit from it now. So, thanks. I can't wait till Manaphy gets Flip Turn. Manaphy's definitely going to get Flip Turn, doesn't it? It has to get Flip Turn. I know they just recently released a list of moves, but I haven't actually looked at it too deeply. But they should give Manaphy Flip Turn. I was just saying. I think that'd be great. That's just me. So, with another Cleric on the team and our Wish Passer and our Flip Turn monster, Waterclef, we move on to our final form of Hazard Rule, and that is going to be Leonardo the Blastoise. I wanted to have a Rapid Spinner on the team, and Blastoise does indeed fit that bill. What's also cool is he has Rain Dish for an ability, so he gets free healing all the time whenever the rain's up, so that's really, really great for it. It makes it an even bulkier threat for my opponents to deal with. He also, indeed, gets Flip Turn, so if I can predict a switch into a Ghost type on my opponents, if try and predict my Rapid Spin, I can just Flip Turn into maybe like Ghidorah or someone else to appropriately deal with said Ghost type, and proceed to make them my bitch. And of course, this generation they also gave Good Man Blastoise Shell Smash. So that's also a thing I can do. I can Shell Smash with Blastoise and potentially sweep people because, I'll be a Blastoise in rain with recovery in Rain Dish. So that's pretty cool, I think. I think it's pretty cool. You can disagree with me, and you can be wrong. That's fine. But, yeah, so that's our Blastoise. The next Pokemon we have on the squad is another Rain Center. I know, I got Pelipper, obviously, but I wanted to have an alternate one. I wanted to have an alternate Rain Center because it could be matchup based. My opponents could have an easier time dealing with Pelipper, say if I'm up against like a Mono Rock team, or I'm against Mono Electric. While this mon isn't great against Mono Electric, it can be built in ways to better be used against Mono Electric than Pelipper can. So, with that being said, I picked up Muddy the Politoed. It was actually my girlfriend's request to name one of my rain setters something relating to mud, Mudmaker or something like that. So I said I would name my Politoed Muddy for her. So shout out to her; she's the best. Yeah, it also doubles as another water immunity, which is great. Another water immunity off the board, but it doesn't really matter because no one else could have grabbed it. But it does have the drizzle, so Politoed is going to be sitting up the rain for us. Decent bulk across the board, just decent stats in general. Can be built in a lot of great ways. Unfortunately, did not get flip turn. I was very disappointed when I found that out when Isle of Armor was coming out. I was like, why did you not give Politoed flip turn? You would have made it literally like just a shade closer to being almost as good as Pelipper. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. But it gets cool things like Perish Song as well as for fun little tech moves that could be messed with. I think Politoed will be a great addition to the team. Being able to bring like a different rain setter for different scenarios, depending on which one has the better matchup that week, is going to be very, very important for our team, I think. So Politoed, I'm really, really excited to use Politoed this season. I haven't used Politoed in a really long time either, so I'm really, really pumped to have him. And of course, you already know who our last pick is. Our last pick is Popeye, the Mega Swampert. Could not have a mono water team, could not have a rain-based team without picking up this absolute beast. Obviously only has one weakness in grass, which we have plenty of things to cover for at this point. So, definitely won't be a big deal for Mega Swampert. Plus, this thing is just so strong. That base 150 attack, firing off a water-type move in the rain, is devastating. Firing off earthquakes in the rain is so strong. Ice Punch to cover for the grass types that one might want to switch into this thing. Like, Mega Swampert is an absolute behemoth that is definitely going to cause so many teams an absolute headache. Week in and week out, this thing is going to tear through so many of my opponent's teams. And I'm so fucking excited to use Mega Swampert. I haven't used Mega Swampert in so long, and the last time I used it, it was an absolute beast. So, super duper hyped to have this team, and I'm really, really looking forward to this season. It's going to be so much fun. Again, if you're seeing this on the NPBF Facebook page, please hop on over to youtube.com/ I actually don't remember if I got my custom URL done. You'll find the YouTube. The YouTube will be linked somewhere on the post. If you are seeing this from YouTube, please head over to the NPBF Facebook page. Give them a follow. We're really trying to get more eyes on us. Really, really great group, great league, and a great group of people. Definitely deserve to have some eyes on them because they're all fantastic. They're all fantastic, and it would be really nice to spread the word about how great this league is, in my opinion. NPBF is awesome. Stay tuned as well for on the Facebook page, as you will be seeing a full draft analysis going up sometime after the draft is officially completed. I'm really, really looking forward to sitting down and really breaking down all the teams, breaking down how their fairy and dark picks really cement the squads, kind of going over where I think some coaches might have misstepped, where I think some coaches definitely nailed it. It's going to be a really, really fun video to do, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Y'all can tell, drafting is my passion. I love doing this stuff. So, I'm really, really excited, and I cannot wait to get into the battles this season. This is going to be an absolute barn burner of a season, and we are going for the title. I was already told by a dozen people that I should just automatically win the championship this season. It has evaded me every season so far. I have lost in playoffs every single season. I've made playoffs every season. Just saying. But I've lost in playoffs every single season I've been here. I do not want to do that again. I have mono water. I need to win. I will be so embarrassed if I lose. I'll be so embarrassed. If I lose this, I'm gonna really look stupid. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. This is gonna be one wild ride of a season, so buckle up and let's get rocking. Until next time, though, guys. I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace.